get to the collective tarot for the full moon in Libra on April 12th or 13th, depending on where you live. Also, thank you so much again for joining me. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Modern Maven Media. Thank you to all my subscribers. And don't forget to hit that like button because it really does help the algorithm to show this video to other people who might be interested in the collective readings. Going back quickly to one of the messages that I think is really important from the pre-shuffle messages was about tending to our garden, because I do think that there's a lot of going on with conflicting energies, releasing the past. This could really deal with ego too. We're getting really mentally needing to leave behind something. This is ruled by Mercury in Aquarius, and with that Aquarian thinking, Pluto in Aquarius, age of Aquarius, all of that energy, we have to give more attention to the narrative that we speak, the narrative that we think, and that can be hard when we're so attached to how things are, how things have been. But the sun coming out here, like, there's so much to be grateful for. And if you can see too, we have the Libra symbol right there in the middle. And so the balance is the key. There's so much related to the internal struggle and moving away from an old way of thinking. And that narrative is something where we have to remember that personal power reimagined, personal power now redefined, because now we have personal power in action. And boundaries are huge. That's something that we are going to have to work on, especially too, because there is Venus and Pisces energy. And Pisces, I'm a Pisces, so I'm speaking for myself on this too. We're not the greatest at emotional boundaries, physical boundaries. And so you do have to think about that influence when it comes to things that are keeping you stuck in an old pattern, things that are keeping you stuck in an old situation, old way of thinking. Oh my gosh, the Magician popping out. This is saying that you have to master your thoughts. You have to master how you're waking up, what you're setting your intentions for when you wake up, when you go to bed, the conversations that you have throughout your day, the thoughts that you have throughout your day. That this is how we manifest, is when we can control that Mercurian energy in our benefit, and not just for the benefit of ourselves, but collective. So this is the Magician. This is a major arcana. So this is for the collective specifically, that when we collectively shift to the narrative we want to see, that is when we will see change. It feels like that there are, a select few who have the power in which the direction of our lives is, and there's a lot of impatience. Okay, so this is another thing, is that there's so much uncertainty. How can you move forward knowing this uncertainty, but having faith that that uncertainty will still take you to where you're meant to be? Because that can be very, very hard, okay? And that is ruled by Neptune. And so remember, we have Neptune in Aries. We're in Aries season. There's almost this anxious energy. Like, you're fired up, but you're also like anxious. And like, it's just a lot of nervousness almost, okay? And so whatever that nervousness is, tune it into forward movement is really what I would say. And also, like, you have to visualize, like, when there's times of feeling like standing still or things aren't moving fast enough, instead of having that impatience and that anxiety, see it as I'm meant to be tending to the garden. I'm meant to be pulling out the weeds. I'm meant to be doing the things that will catapult me forward, okay? Because there is a lot of impatience. The Four of Cups again here. So much impatience to just wanting that cup. Like, I just want this one cup and it's out of reach. And so it can be, daydreaming and thinking about that cup instead of applying yourself to obtaining the cup. Okay, is really a strong message. And this King of Cups, I'm telling you, so much related to power and emotional needs, whether it be positive or negative. A lot of self-serving energy has been at the forefront with people in power. And so that is where you taking your personal power and seeing it, and not only yourself, but when you are visualizing yourself with your personal power, see all these other people who are aligned with you. Visualize yourself in a group, a collective, okay? That's why I do these collective tarot readings. It's for people to connect their energy together to raise that vibration. And with that too, I want to go back to that pre-shuffle mediator energy, because we're going to see a lot of light and shadow. And unfortunately, like, we are seeing a lot of that shadow energy, but negotiating with ulterior motives or hidden agendas. And so that's something where it's very important to be aware of that, so that when it does happen, you don't let it get the power it wants. Okay. So just a lot of pre-shuffle messages. Let's just see if there's anything else that we got, but let's see. Oh, yep, one more. King of Coins. Yeah, so this is definitely dealing with health and finances and who has power and what that power means, because look at, so even though he's holding that coin, this is your reminder that you attract it through your thoughts. You attract it through your vibration. You attract it by tending to your garden. The Queen of Coins is somebody who is a homebody and tends to her garden and takes pleasure in it too, okay? But yeah, relationships, definitely a big thing. A lot of choices being made, okay? So when it comes to relationships, when it comes to career, there's a lot of decisions that are being made. And you want to stick with the one that is connected to your passions, that your, that inner child wants to express. Because that is where you just saying yes, and taking the wand like that. This is telling me that there's a lot of opportunities for all of us individually to take this wand. And if we could only see the power in our individual choices, it's like Joseph Campbell in The Hero's Journey, right? We're all on our own hero's journey. So the more of us that can see us taking that power in our hands and how it really can change, how it can, excuse me, I had to burp, how it can change the collective. So that to me says too, there's a lot that we need to purge related to negative mindset when it comes to finances, when it comes to because we're seeing this idea of money and we're seeing it crashing and we're seeing what does that even mean and value and all of this, and this comes up in certain points in our life, right? Like in our evolution, like we have these ebbs and flows, but like related to power and related to our vibration when it comes to finances and health, we feel like there's somebody else in control. And that's where, again, it's our collective power over that. How can we come together as a community of like-minded people to raise that vibration, to rethink what power and control means? Because we need order and structure. But when it comes to the ulterior motives that come with people who are making decisions, that's where it's time for us to say enough is enough, standing in our power with integrity and passion. And that's when that Aquarian, that lighter energy will come in with the collective coming together. Okay. All right, I love seeing this at the bottom. We're going to stick with that at the bottom. Make a wish upon a star. If there's one thing I want you to do for this full moon is make a wish, set your intentions. Remember, we have Pisces North Node for the next 18 months, and that is the dreamer. And so this is the time when you have dreams, you have wishes to really, to make those known only to yourself, right? And the way you make it known to others is by taking action every day, all right? You don't need to speak it to other people. The way that you show other people your intentions is by the action-oriented energy. Because again, Aries, action-oriented leadership, okay? And also watch the movie Wish. For some reason that keeps popping up in my head. I keep hearing so I make this wish over and over. So I highly suggest that movie. Okay, so let's see what we got going on for the collective for the Libra full moon on April 12th, 13th, 2025. Okay. Definitely feeling really out of balance for a lot of people. A lot of, again, this escapism, and that is a Pisces shadow energy. And so we can't just dream about our dreams. We have to take action, all right? Every day, even if it's 5 minutes, what can we do to take action? Well, there's a Libra card. Nope. Okay. Amazing. Well, whatever this Tower moment is, it is gonna charge people up, all right? So, and this King of Cups, he just keeps popping up, and he just keeps popping up. Okay, overall energy, the Two of Swords. Now, I mentioned how a lot of us are stuck in our head. This is moon in Libra, okay? So full moon in Libra. This full moon is going to have a major impact on all of us personally, but all that personal, like this might be the aha moment where we see the shift in how powerful all of our personal thoughts and decisions affect everybody else around us. Okay, so there's decisions to be made, compromise when needed. And so this is what's really fascinating to me, is this is a card about decisions and to compromise when you can. And the fact that we saw the mediator in the pre-shuffle really indicates to me that these are pretty big decisions that need to be made. And we have to always remember to, justice is blind, right? With clarity and fairness. And we have to focus on what is fair for everyone, not just ourselves. And that can be hard sometimes, right? So yes, compromise when you can, but also keep things in perspective, because the other really big thing about this about this full moon is boundaries and the importance of personal boundaries. So this is going to look different for different people. Water signs, honestly, you might be compromising too much because you are the people pleaser, okay? And so earth signs, you might not be budging, and maybe it's time you budge. And so this is going to be a different vibe for a lot of different people, depending on the heavy placements that you have. But again, with that Pisces North node, going with the flow when it is toward that which you are trying to manifest, always a good idea. What we need more of, the Tower. The Tower is ruled by Mars, and Mars is ruled by Aries. We need to channel more of the energy of how we assert ourselves. Now remember, personal power in action. Personal power in action. Look at this. We got so much fire here. We're fired up, and there's a lot of energy related to people. So accepting sudden change, this is, like wishing for a miracle or wishing for a sudden change, and then it shows up, and then it's like, oh wait, not yet. Oh, not yet. I'm not ready. And so again, going back to that card where it's like you've been dreaming about something, and then when it's here, it's like, oh, well, I'm not actually ready for that yet. That's the type of energy where sudden change is coming for a lot of people, and it's time to say yes. Okay, this is a breakthrough card. And again, breakthrough or breakdown, depending on what, are you attached to the lightning bolt of change? Or are you still stuck on that tower that is that old Pluto and Capricorn energy? Because there are people still stuck on that tower, and then there are people accepting change. But collectively, what we have the right amount of is the Knight of Coins. Now, the Knight of Coins is this idea of like physically being ready to rise up to the challenge, being completely engaged. It can indicate partnerships here. But it's a very productive card, all right? It's like, this to me is saying, be very mindful though of not like overexerting yourself. Slow and steady wins the race, right? And so seeing the Knight of Coins, like you want to be completely engaged, but you also want to be patient, all right? That's the only thing that could trip us up. But like when it comes to this grounded energy, that's what I love, is so many people have their feet on the ground right now and really understand that there's whatever this tower moment is in the collective that's happening, it's really activating people to take action. All right, the activation of taking action, but we're just rethinking it in a new way. What we need less of, the Page of Wands. Now this is interesting because to me this is saying we can't be selfish right now. This is exploring things that can fuel your inner flame, but perhaps when it comes to the decisions we need to make, when it comes to this moment, it could be related to a self-serving want, okay? Because again, the pages are the, inner child. They can be children in our lives. Sometimes, too, like if you're a parent, perhaps you cater too much to your child's wants and not your own. I mean, it can indicate that. But for me, with the collective tarot, this is more about us individually, looking at what individually could be more easy. And we need to, again, focus more on our community, okay? All right, now what we can change, the Ace of Coins. Get started, all right? So this is, again, tending to your garden. There's so much energy related to that earth and that passion and going forward. We need to tend to our garden. We need to get started. If there's something that you've been wanting to do and you haven't started it, the first step to change is starting, all right? This can be, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you advice, but this can be a new way of eating. It can be a new workout routine. It can be, just a new mindset. Meditating, it can be a new, venture, financial or creative. And this is where just getting started, okay? That's the most important aspect of this. I'm also looking at the acorns because I'm thinking too that perhaps there's seeds, like a squirrel, perhaps like, you buried these nuts, if you will, and now it's springtime and it's like you said, oh, I'm going to circle back to that in the spring, and now it's spring and you're like, oh man, it's already here. And then like putting it off more and more, like, no, you have to get started now. And all of us individually, like I said, when we take that action with our own individual dreams and we can move forward, that's when we see this greater impact. I think too many of us are stuck in the worry and the anxious energy of what ifs and not just taking action, okay? What you need to accept, okay, the Queen of Wands. Now this to me is super exciting because this is ruled by Aries and Pisces. And to me, the Queen of Wands is honestly in this deck, it's my favorite card. When you feel empowered, you help empower others, all right? There's not really room for imposters. Like, so some people have imposter syndrome, and then there's other people who are full out imposters, like, again, the shadow side of that mediator with ulterior motives or hidden agenda. This is where that true core feeling empowered, you help empower others. Like the first step to that is being kind of being the best version of yourself that you can be. All right. Now, there's also a generous and optimistic card. And so that's where we can't get stuck in not making a decision because something from the past is holding us back. Again, this to me, my favorite card in the deck and what we need to accept. All right. When you feel empowered, you help empower others, and you have to believe it. You have to rise up every day. And again, Pisces Delulu energy, that me feeling empowered and me showing up every day is making an impact on the collective. All right. And so what I find fascinating is we need less of the Page of Wands and we need more of the Queen of Wands. And so what this is telling me too is perhaps like we're just not being authentic and real with our dreams, with our passions. And like, there's like almost this immaturity to it. And now it's time to be an adult and really take action. Because look at this too. The outcome of this energy is the Knight of Wands. All right. Now the Knight of Wands is going to go out and seek out the things. So this could be something where like, honestly, it could be something that is a little scary in the collective, but is activating people to take action, to really pursue what they're passionate about, to take charge and stop making excuses. We all make excuses. Like you wake up in the day, it's like, I want to do this. Oh, but I have to do this, and this. And so this is that card of like, we go from the Page of Wands to the Queen of Wands to the Knight of Wands. And so I do think too, I'm just going to say this as well, because it is a belief of mine, that with the divine feminine power coming back and accepting, we need to accept women in power. We need to accept that these women who are confident and bold, empowered, intelligent, and accept that they're meant to be in power. All right. There's an acceptance that some people are not willing to accept women in power in a lot of areas of life. But that is what this age is about. It's about the divine feminine coming back in. All right. And so we go from this level. And so just knowing that nurturing, empowering energy is here to help us all. This is a very exciting reading. Okay. So now I want to start with some past life energy, and we will see past life energy. Well, that was easy. Oh, love life. Okay, so relationships. Look at trust and faith. So seeing this at the bottom of the deck, like I said, with uncertainty, it's really easy to get scared, right? It's really easy to delve into that inner child, the shadow energy of that. Love life. So yeah, relationships are a big, important message. Boundaries, right? Emotional boundaries, physical boundaries, lessons learned from relationships. what we've learned about balance, what clarity we've gotten with Libra energy. So I do think a lot of people will be reflecting, if it's not in this lifetime, it's a past lifetime, about relationships and the karma that comes with them. Because remember, Libra also about balance, karma, justice, right? Justice is ruled by Libra. So there's a lot related to relationships, both present and past, and major decisions that also need to be made from that. All right, so let's see. I want to see what archetypal energy is also related to. We got mediator already. If we got mediator again, I'd laugh so hard. Okay, oh, this is fascinating. Okay. I'm not going to say what I want to say, but I think that people can draw their conclusions from this. We have Don Juan. Light attributes, spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Shadow attributes, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. What did we say earlier? Negotiating with ulterior motives or hidden agendas, all right? There's a lot of swindlers out there, snake oil salesmen, right? But we also have Judge, Libra, Justice. What did I just say? Light attributes, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Shadow attributes, offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. Now I'm going back to who's holding the scales here. And it is that divine feminine energy, all right? So yeah, we're gonna see some pretty powerful major shakeups around this full moon. And after too, because with Taurus season and tending to our garden, there's a lot of work to be done. And that can be boring, right? Like I have this gardening game with my daughter that I've been playing. I can't remember what it's called, but you're on this island. It's not Animal Crossing, but you're on this island and you have to grow plants and sell them, and then like you get to new islands and all this stuff. But she's finding it hard to have to wait for these things to grow and to pull the weeds out and to break the rocks that are in the way and all this stuff. And so for, you know, me in a different generation, and like just like that video games are like that, like it's enjoyable. So it's just really interesting with like people in different generations and how tending to our gardens is really different for a lot of different people, right? Very different generational shift. Okay. Empowering questions though for us. What would happen if I didn't try to control my future? I think that has to do with this decision that needs to be made too. And how would I want to be encouraged right now? What would I want to hear? We do need to accept that sometimes, like when it comes to that encouragement, we don't always hear what we want to hear. And it's really about action. I'm just going to keep saying it. Aries season action. I'm again speaking to myself, like there's a lot of ways that we can get stuck in our head and make excuses for why we can't do the things that we want to do. And so I really hope that we can really be feeling that anxious energy, channel it into something. So I have Mars in Aries. All right, here's a good example. I have Mars in Aries, and this activation of Aries and Neptune and Aries season, like I just keep wanting to like just go run outside for like until I tire out. Like there's this energy but it needs to be utilized. You can't keep it stagnant, because again with that Pisces, think about stagnant water. It gets toxic, right? And so that's where when we're feeling this activation, when we're feeling this empowerment, we have to act on it. Okay. All right. What does the Green Witch Tarot have for us for the Libra? The Green Witch tell us about this Libra? Oh, okay. This is actually one of these cards popped out. I'm not going to say why for my personal self, but it is an interesting message for myself. All right, Earth, peace, grounding. Like I said, being completely engaged, having both feet planted firmly on the ground. If that means tuning out social media, tune it out. I'm telling you. And Rosemary, remembrance, loyalty, faithfulness, okay? And so there are, like I said, there are really a lot of relationships here where we're asking ourselves, who's loyal to us? Who am I loyal to? Reciprocation of loyalty. Rosemary, also too, when it comes to the lungs and breathing, I really want to make sure that like if we're feeling that anxiousness, like to get outside and just breathe some fresh air, all right? Tune into the earth, all right? Peace and grounding. The more you can get out and firmly plant your feet on the ground, I think the better off you'll be. Okay, so what liquid crystal energy is a message for the collective for the full moon in Libra? Oh, we got a lot. Okay, so I will read all of these. Aquamarine, simplification. Amethyst, humility. Morganite, equality and love. And pyrite, sparkle life. Okay, these are all really important. Sparkle life, taking action. Simplification, we really are like taking the weeds out, getting started, okay? Humility, again, the ego, we can't let this self-serving energy we don't necessarily need right now. And Morganite, equality and love. Equality, balance, fairness, justice, all right? So we are asking, and remember, it depends on, you know, your personal situation, where you're on that scale. Like, are you giving too much in a relationship? Is somebody doing too much? Are you doing too much? Like, we have to really ask ourselves, like, literally visualizing a scale and seeing, like, you can write, like, split a piece of paper in half and like, these are all the things I do and this is what this person does for me, vice versa, you know what I mean? But also too, know that sometimes in life, like, there are people who are caregivers, there are people who need the caregiving, and so this is where I think we keep getting, like, energetically, when it comes to decisions we need to make in our personal life, where we get stuck, okay? Because we don't put enough faith into letting the future play out, like focusing on the vibration, all right? Because again, there's so much around us that is constantly trying to have us question and keep us in a certain mundane energy. And personal power, remember, I'm going back, personal power redefined, personal power in action. We're noticing when we do that collectively the power it has, all right? We have to be visible. We have to be seen in a certain way. So let us get to the sign by sign, and then I'm going to close this out. Again, thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, look at, take that one in your hand because the sun is right behind it, okay? A little bit every day, I'm telling you, no matter what it is that you're dreaming of, a little bit every day, all right? Aries, what does Aries need to hear for the Libra full moon in Aries season? You're probably thinking, oh my gosh. Okay, so this one didn't come out, but it feels important. It just flew out after. The Tower and the Lovers. Aries, when it comes to a relationship, there could be a big epiphany, a karmic reset. And it could be related to, it doesn't necessarily have to be like an intimate relationship. It could be with work, but a really major shakeup somewhere with relationships in your life, okay? But whatever it is, like, there's healing that comes with it. So if we can remember that there's healing coming from whatever shakeup is happening, we'll be better off. But you want to make sure too that you're not the one who is if you're causing the Tower moment, be the lightning bolt to change. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Be the lightning bolt to change. Okay. Taurus, this is insane. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, a double 10. Taurus, if you're not setting intentions for yourself with what you want for your emotional happiness and your financial well-being, it's here for you. Please make sure you're setting intentions for this full moon. That's amazing, Taurus. I'm really excited for you. That's one of the best pulls I think I've ever had with this sign by sign. So, congratulations. I'm kind of speechless right now, Taurus. So make sure you set those intentions. What do you want? The sky is the limit. Don't you dare put limits on your dreams, okay, Taurus? All right, Gemini, what do we got? Gemini, 6 of Swords. Okay, so Geminis, you get this message a lot. The power of your thoughts, moving away to calmer shores. There's a lot of turbulence that has happened, but again, we're moving, like, you see the current here, and it's a little choppy water, but they're moving to calmer. All right, so there's something here, a major transformation. You're moving away from something that does not serve you. And so again, this idea of accepting change, accepting this new opportunity, if that's what it is, it can be physical, change in where you're living. But at the baseline, there's a major turning point, taking control of your destiny, but taking control of it and not controlling your future, like this said, but just controlling where your focus is. Okay. All right. And Cancers, my goodness, I'm just like, Five of Cups, Cancers, there's something that we might be emotionally holding on to from the past that we really need to release. And remember that we got these 2 cups here. This is something too, though, where I don't feel like you're too, I think sorry, my battery did something. I think that by Taurus season, you're ready to walk across this bridge, all right? Because we got the water and we got the earth here. And I just do think this is more of an actual like release where you're finally ready to release this, okay? You're turning something that is what seems as a regret and you're seeing it for the stepping stone that it is. All right, Leos. Oh, Leos, if you're feeling dissatisfaction, we really need to ask ourselves why. If you planted a seed, are you tending to it? And what energy are you giving to it every day? Because there's something here where it feels like there's some dissatisfaction with something we've been growing or trying to grow. And we might need a new perspective, okay? Because yes, ask yourself if the direction you're heading is what you want, because it's okay too if it's not. If this is something that's, an old dream of yours that you thought you wanted it, but you really don't, it's okay to shift, all right? But this is a time of contemplation. Am I working towards what I really want? And that's something too. Am I living the dreams of myself or somebody else, which came up with the last reading? And then, so that's a really important question for you to ask yourself, okay? All right, Virgos. Ooh, Virgos, you're ready to go. The Chariot and Temperance. Like this is, Virgos, I'm excited for you for this because I don't really see you getting like major arcana energy like this a lot, but like you have your feet firmly planted on the ground and also in the dreams of that Pisces North Node. You know that this path that you're on, this is so cool. It can also indicate a new vehicle, but like the path that you're driving on is leading you to the sun. Okay, this is your light and shadow. You're coming to terms with it if you haven't already, and you're ready to take action. So again, that action, like that personal action, you being an earth sign and grounded and saying yes to this is amazing. So congratulations, this is huge. Just remember to balance your earth energy with your polar natal Pisces. That Pisces energy is super important. So make sure when you get stuck in that rigidity, you're meant to travel for this, because this is ruled by Cancer, a fellow water sign. You're meant to nurture what emotionally satisfies you. It's just all about balance. Know thyself and nothing in excess, Virgos, all right? Splurge when you can splurge and have routine when you have routine, all right? Like you're just really learning that flow, the flow of embodying the Virgo person that you are with your shadow energy of Pisces, okay? Which Pisces needs as well. I'm a Pisces. I need Virgo energy just as much as I need Pisces energy. Okay, Libras. What do Libras need to hear? Of course you get 2 cards. Oh, Libras, 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. I'm feeling that you're going to be feeling kind of drained. And that's actually an energy for a lot of people is exhaustion from everything that's been going on. Like there's been a lot of chaos with eclipse season and all this. But you're getting very close to the end of something. And it's something here where it's been a challenge. It's felt like a burden. And I just want you to use the strength you have in reserves, because so much of this is related to your emotions and blocks and challenges, like rising up to the challenge or not is really this question that keeps coming up for you. But if you take one step at a time and remember that it is about just showing up every day and doing a little bit, like this is like, it's like strength training and resistance training. Like see how, there's only 9 wands here and she's like, I'm ready. And then she finally works up to being able to take those 10 wands over to the finish line. So a little bit each day will take you a long way, Virgos, okay? A little each day will take you a long way. All right, Scorpios. What do Scorpios need to hear for the full moon? Oh, I love this, Scorpios. 9 of Pentacles. I almost think you got this for the new moon. Whatever you're working on, Scorpios, keep working on it, all right? The more that you can, again, tend to your own garden. You might be distracted by what's going on in the collective. There's almost this like guilt that can come too, like when things are working out really well for you, but it seems to not be working out for other people, that like we're supposed to like play it small. Don't fall into that, all right? Your garden is blossoming and that's amazing. And you're not meant to lower your energy for anybody, Scorpio. So just be mindful of that. It's almost like this distraction, but like whatever you're growing is growing and that's amazing. So tend to your own garden, okay? All right, Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to hear for? Ace of Wands, Sagittarius, this is amazing because you are a fire sign. You're feeling fired up. Personal power. Grab that personal power, all right? The wand is in your hand. A new opportunity, a new spark of confidence. There's something, and it could be coming to fruition in summer. Maybe there's something really excited that you're looking forward to in the summer. I really just want you to seize the day. If you're making excuses for not doing something you want to do, this is where like you have the thought, you get up and you get in your car and you go do it. Like action now, Sagittarius, okay? All right, Capricorns. What do Capricorns need to hear? Why do I keep hearing a card? Okay. Capricorns. What do Capricorns need to hear for? Whoa, that went flying. Capricorns, Eight of Wands. All right, Eight of Wands, a lot of action, a lot of travel, a lot of feeling confidence and motivation. Hang on to this, Mercury and Sagittarius energy. You want to seek out new experiences that make you feel alive, okay? Like, I feel like there's a lot of forward motion. There's a lot of forward motion. There's a lot of excitement. You're getting an itch to travel a lot more, to move a lot more. Whatever the spark of confidence is, keep at it. There's so much related to Wands here. And new opportunities coming in for you too. So be mindful of that and say yes to the things that are making you feel a spark of confidence. Because even if it's something new, it's meant to take you forward. So now is not the time to put on the brakes. Okay, now is not the time to put on the brakes, Capricorns. Now is the time to keep moving forward. All right. Okay, Aquarius. What do Aquarians need to hear? Oh, Aquarius, Seven of Wands. So many wands. This is insane. Okay, so do not let your ego get in the way, Aquarius. All right, Mars and Leo energy. Assert yourself with integrity and passion, persistence, courage. Stand up for what you believe in, but you need to ask yourself what your motives are. I don't want you to be on that shadow energy, all right? So ask yourself what your motives are when you're taking a stand for what you believe in. And remember to think about what you say before you speak. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, you just be mindful. That's all. But this is crazy. 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. This is very cool reading. Okay, Pisces. What do Pisces need to hear for the new, or not new moon, full moon in Libra? Pisces. My goodness. Well, there you are, Pisces. Oh, wow, Pisces. The moon and the Ace of Cups. Pisces, if you can get that shadow energy fear out of your head, go into the cave, go into the unknown, because that's where the Ace of Cups is. Something new. If this is a relationship, it's a blossoming relationship, but there's a fear here related to your shadow. It could be, you know, Page of Wands. Like it could be something from childhood. It could be from a past relationship. Again, so much relationship energy. But I want you to bask in that moonlight too, all right? And feel the freeing energy. Like this full moon, remember, full moons are a time for release. Release whatever is holding you back from an emotional reset, from accepting something emotionally fulfilling. Because that shadow is there to always try and trick you, and now is not the time. So major revelations, your intuition is super high. So just do not let the delulu get in the way from this Ace of Cups, all right? Like the emotional fresh start is here for you. And honestly, like a lot of the astrology, Pisces, really indicates that like March, April is really powerful for Pisces specific with everything going on. And so I want you to say yes to an emotional renewal. Okay, so that is all I have. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Super exciting reading. Whatever is happening in the collective with that tower energy, keep your feet on the ground, be completely engaged, say yes to taking action. And as always, shine your inner light. We've got this.